Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll look at how we can protect or harden our Kali Linux machine using a firewall. Now I'm going to be using the host-based firewall and I'm going to be doing all the commands on the terminal. So I already have the terminal open here. So we'll go through the process of installing and configuring the firewall. Then we'll see how we can restrict inbound traffic. So the main reason you want to install and enable the firewall is to restrict incoming traffic while allowing your outgoing traffic, because you still need access to stuff like DNS and web page access. Then we'll see how we can create firewall rules to allow specific services such as SSH, and if you're running a web server you might want to allow those services as well. Now let's look at the first command here. Now I'll begin by running nmap on a different device to see what ports are open on this Kali Linux machine. So I'm gonna need the IP address for the Kali Linux machine. So it's 192.168.1.165. Let me head to the other machine, and this is the command. So you just run nmap. So this is an Ubuntu machine. The command I'm running is nmap 192.168.1.165, which is the IP address for the Kali Linux device. If you press enter, it's gonna do the scan. So this is just a basic scan on that IP or device, and then it's just gonna show you the number of ports that are closed, and then any ports that are open, they're gonna be listed here. So at this time there's only two services or ports that are open, port 22 for SSH, and then we see this 3389 for MS WPT server open. So you just have to ask yourself if you actually need these services. If not, you don't need to have them open or listening. So once we have the firewall installed and enabled, by default we should block all services, and then you want to create a rule for the services that you want to access. I'm gonna go back to the Kali Linux machine. Now on the Kali Linux machine, let's see what we need to do here. Again, the main reason for using a firewall is to reduce the attack surface by controlling network traffic that's inbound or that's coming into your machine. I'm just gonna run another command here to list any active ports, or to list any ports that are listening. Now this is on the device itself, so we can use the commands sudo ss, then -t tul and p, put in our password, and here again we see that SSH is listed, and then XRDP, which we saw earlier, uses this port right here. Again, this is variations of SSH and XRDP. There's an additional one here, 3350. Let's look at another variation of the same command. So I'm just gonna change this to netstat. Again, the information is gonna be the same, it's just the format is a little different. Okay, let's move on. Now, once you've determined any listening services or any listening ports, you need to figure out whether those are necessary, whether you actually need those services open, whether you actually need those ports open, and then you need to, because you need to make rules once we install and enable the firewall. Now, let's see if we have the firewall already installed. We can do which UFW. So this is the Uncomplicated Firewall. Now the command to install the firewall is going to be sudo apt install UFW, but you might want to do the command to update your system, sudo apt update. Okay, so on my machine there's quite a few packages that can be upgraded, so this could take a while. I'm not going to do the upgrade. Let's go ahead and run the command to install the firewall. It's going to be sudo apt install UFW. So this is the Uncomplicated Firewall, then -y for yes. Let's do which UFW here. So that's how you'd also verify if you have it installed. Just run the which command, and that should tell you whether you have it installed. We can also try UFW version, and that also is going to tell you if you have the UFW firewall installed, and it's going to show you the version. Next, we'll look at the status of the firewall we just installed. We'll use sudo UFW status verbose. So at this time it's inactive. We haven't enabled it. We have to actually enable it once we install it. So the first thing before we enable it, we might have to configure some rules. Now in this case, if you're remotely connected to this device using SSH, the first rule you want to make sure you configure is for SSH. So you do sudo UFW allow SSH, because once we run the rule to deny all incoming, you might be logged out. So that's the one you want to begin with. Then we'll do sudo UFW default deny incoming. So this is going to deny all incoming traffic with the exception of any traffic that's specifically allowed using the rules. Then we will do default rule for allowing all outgoing traffic, because we still need access to services like DNS, websites and so forth. So we'll say allow outgoing. Now we have the one that blocks everything that's coming in, and then one that allows everything that's going out, traffic that's going out. Okay, we'll clear this. Let's rerun the command to check the status. We'll say sudo UFW status verbose. Again, it's inactive. We haven't enabled it. Let's look at any other things we might want to do. So like I said earlier, you want to allow specific services. So there's two ways you can do the rules. For instance, for SSH, you can do sudo UFW allow SSH, or you can say allow, then put the port number here, and then protocol is TCP. So this does the same thing. And if you have a web server, if you're hosting, you will allow using this command, allow. So let's say port 443 TCP, and then port 80 for TCP as well. Again, we just don't want to open ports that are not needed. Just open the ones that are needed, that are being used. Okay, let's check the status again. We'll do sudo UFW and then status. Let's use a different command here. Numbered. Okay, we're not getting anything. So let's go ahead and enable the firewall. We'll use sudo UFW enable. Now it's active, enabled. I can repeat the command. This is going to show me what I'm allowing as far as the ports. So I'm allowing all this port 22443. Okay, so it's coming in from anywhere. This is for version 6. So let's look at the other command we ran earlier. Sudo UFW status verbose. Okay, so it's just going to show us the same information, including the default rules here for denying all incoming, allowing all outgoing. Now you can limit SSH access to avoid or to protect against brute force attempts. You can run the command sudo UFW limit SSH. Clear. We run this command. So when it comes to denying specific traffic, let's say you want to deny traffic from a specific IP or subnet or a given subnet, you can use the command sudo UFW deny from, and then you'll need to put the subnet here. Let's say 1.1.1.0. So since it's a subnet, so that's a subnet, and if it's a specific IP, you can put that. Okay. Let's look at logging. Now when it comes to logging and monitoring your UFW firewall, you can use, let's see what commands we can use. You can say sudo UFW logging medium, for instance, medium. That enables logging, and then we can check the logs using sudo. Now we're using journalctl here -xe, and that should allow you to look at the logs. Now you can always filter the logs. For instance, the command we just ran earlier, I can just grab these to, let's say, SSH, and that should just show me logs that are specific to SSH. Okay, we'll go back to the other machine, which was the Ubuntu machine, and run nmap again, and let's see what we will see this time as far as the open ports. And what we're gonna do is we'll rerun this command, and as you can see now, this one is no longer showing as open, but since we added rules for these two. So, and these two here are not showing, but they're showing as closed. Since we added those two rules, allowing connections to these ports, and they're showing closed because I don't actually have a web server running that's listening on those ports. That's all for the firewall. Another thing I just wanted to add was that we want to just make sure that we always have our machine updated, just to make sure that all the security patches that are out there are being applied, and also fixing any bugs that could be out there. So the two commands that you can use again is sudo update, and then after that is completed, you can do sudo apt full upgrade -y. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope this information has been helpful. I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.